So we've got a brand new update out today, I guess yesterday when this video probably goes up. On top of Spider-Man 2 hitting 5 million copies sold in just 11 days, which is pretty crazy considering the first game I believe did like 3 million in its first few days. But it's also not too surprising since the marketing for this game with Venom was crazy. But the update brings us some big changes, like enemies now will no longer be able to defeat MJ with a single hit on harder difficulties, like spectacular difficulty for example, where the hunters used to take her out with a single arrow or smack of their weapon. Kind of a weird fix in my opinion. I mean, it's the hardest difficulty for a reason, and it's also way more canon in my opinion, since she's already the most overpowered character in the game. When either Spider-Man fights an enemy, Peter or Miles, it's like Flats trying to punch SpongeBob. Then MJ comes over and just runs through everyone. These hunters are supposed to be like extremely well trained, but MJ's a news reporter, so of course she'll defeat everyone. There was also a problem where the Hang 10 trophy wouldn't pop because it didn't count some of your flips correctly. Not that big of a deal. There was a big issue where leaving a mission and playing in the open world again would corrupt your save, but that is now fixed. And then the update also fixed some smaller things like NPCs spawning on top of each other in the boats, a bug where if you made your HUD invisible, some missions wouldn't trigger when you tried to start them, so where you were just kind of stuck. I guess there was a bug where during the final mission of Marco's Memories you could become stuck there as well, plus some minor bug fixes, but most importantly, they further addressed the issues with player models not properly loading in, so Cube Man and No Suit Wearing Man have now been fixed even further, where they already kind of addressed that in just about every other last update. I know the second update they addressed that for sure, but now they have gone even further to try and address these two best suits in the game. I've seen a ton of comments from you guys saying you want to see a cube skin put into the game so that we can go into our suit section and actually toggle it on. And it's kind of funny because the top reply to Insomniac's post about this update was for the cube suit. I don't think this guy made the art, I don't know where it came from, but having this or even just some plain cube, the cube that we already have in here, having that as a suit to be able to swap to would be awesome. I'm like 1000% sure that when Spider-Man 2 inevitably releases on PC, this is going to be the first mod released if Insomniac doesn't add it themselves. Let me know down in the comments what you think about getting a cube suit, or what suit you guys want to see in Spider-Man 2's future updates or DLC in general. Maybe Insomniac will happen to see it and throw it into the game. Like I said before, they did that with the first Spider-Man game. They put in pretty much every suit that we wanted to actually see. I think they added like 15 suits after the game's release. On top of DLC suits, I think there was also like 3 for each DLC. I mean, and if they're gonna do the cube suit, they might as well just do the invisible suit as well. As annoying as it was because it kind of ruined my ending when Miles just swoops in here, it's also pretty hilarious. In the last video, I saw a lot of you guys wanting to see the spectacular suit. I think that was the #1 comment, by the way, and also the unlimited suit. I personally love the Spider-Verse suits. I also saw you guys talking about those a bit, like the Spider-Verse Prowler suit, some of Peter Parker's suits in there, and Hobie's Spider-Punk suit. I would personally love to see the 2099 Across the Spider-Verse suit, and like I said before, I'm sure we'll get some of those when Beyond the Spider-Verse releases. It was supposed to be releasing here soon, but it did get delayed, I think inevitably, so we'll just have to wait and see when that releases. But one thing I really want to be done with the suits, and I think just about everyone else, is being able to toggle Peter's symbiote powers back to black. The white looks really good with the anti-symbiote suit, but not very good with just about any other suit in the game. For some reason, we've just got to hang with these white suit powers, which look kind of ridiculous. So some mild spoilers here. According to this article by Gizmodo, which was interviewing the narrative director and advanced writer, probably the two most influential people to the game's story, Peter Parker will not be the main focus for the next Spider-Man game, and instead it will have a main focus on Miles Morales, specifically calling Miles after Spider-Man 2 the main Spider-Man, which is sort of strange if it does turn out to be the case, since the series started out with Peter Parker while Miles had more of a spin-off game. I guess this was never really said to be some sort of trilogy anyways, but it's just sort of like out there. This would also explain a lot of what I didn't really care for Spider-Man 2's writing, how Peter seemed like a consistently weak character while Miles was sort of the one handling everything, but at the same time it also seemed like Miles wasn't there half the time, and some of his missions were just garbage in general. They seemed almost like filler missions. And then Peter's decision at the end of the game to step away from Spider-Man for a while Miles told him that he's got it and to go be Peter Parker. I definitely want to know what you guys think about this down in the comments. Obviously, the game's not out yet, and I like Miles, but it definitely sounds a little weird. A lot of people are even theorizing that Peter Parker is just going to be killed off, even maybe in the first mission, which I guess is possible, but I really don't think they would go that far, hopefully. Like I've mentioned before, Insomniac has said in the past that the upcoming Wolverine game is set in the same universe as Spider-Man, so there's always a chance we'll see Peter eventually swinging alongside him, maybe while Miles is handling everything in New York. That's a bit of a stretch, but it's totally possible. I'd be surprised if they didn't try to eventually throw them together on some sort of crossover game, because that would be huge. Plus, I don't know about you guys, but I'm starting to get a little tired of swinging around New York. I know this is Spider-Man's home, but it'd be nice to get a change in scenery. I mean, this could just be like an exaggeration of Miles just getting another spin-off game as well. We really don't know a whole lot of details, so he could just feature in Miles Morales 2, maybe alongside Cindy, since that's originally what I thought the ending of Spider-Man 2 was hinting at, and then Spider-Man 3 could end up featuring all three Spider-Men. We really don't know. Spider-Man 3 is obviously going to feature the Green Goblin, like they hinted at the ending of the game, but there was also some more interesting info Insomniac gave out in that same interview, where they said that they left the introduction of Carnage to a series of side missions, you know, the Flame side missions, due to them wanting to leave Spider-Man 2 to Venom's story and not really wanting to focus on any other villain right now. And I think that was a good idea since Venom is hugely popular, but Carnage would have just stolen the show in my opinion. They wanted to leave Carnage and Cletus Cassidy for their own project, which could totally still end up being a DLC, but sounds more like he might end up as the villain in his own game, and that also gives me like two different theories. For one, like I've seen a lot of you guys' comments mention, we could totally end up seeing the Green Goblin and Carnage converge to form the Red Goblin, since that is a thing in the comic books where Spider-Man completely cures Norman Osborn of his Goblin formula, which is that thing that's been causing him to go crazy, but also his source of strength. So now Norman is looking for a way to get back at it. He finds the Carnage symbiote and gets his own symbiote powers. This starts off as like that typical looking Carnage symbiote suit, but Carnage and Norman Osborn form a deal where Carnage ends up getting rid of the nanobots that Spider-Man placed in Norman Osborn's bloodstream, the nanobots that were nullifying the Green Goblin's powers. Carnage gets rid of those, allowing him to now use the Green Goblin powers again and still be formed with Carnage, which ends up creating the Red Goblin. The Red Goblin is like this perfect combination of Carnage and Norman Osborn, which makes them way stronger than normal. There's a lot more to it, so if you want to learn more about the Red Goblin, that all stems from Amazing Spider-Man, and I believe the first issue that the Red Goblin appears in is issue number 798. The second theory is also a little more hyped up in that interview as well, when they're asked if Miles will ever get a symbiote since, you know, just about everyone else got one in Spider-Man 2, and he said he pleads the fifth. He didn't say no and he didn't say yes, so obviously, who knows? But there's a really good chance that Miles does get a second spin-off game. He runs into Carnage, and it could feature some run-ins between Miles and Carnage. Maybe while he's out there showing Cindy the ropes for her little role in Spider-Man. Maybe Miles ends up getting the Carnage symbiote at least for a little bit, which would be absolutely crazy. But yeah, let me know what your theories are for Spider-Man 3 or the next Miles game, as well as for Carnage and the Red Goblin. I can't find it now, but I also saw someone down in the comments mention an interest in multiplayer and co-op in the next Spider-Man game. I really don't know about multiplayer. I mean, they could make some fun little mini games chasing each other around, or I guess just having a bunch of Spider-Man swinging all over the place. But I really think co-op would have been amazing in here. Maybe the next game won't have it, obviously we don't know, but probably not. In general, I would love to see a future Spider-Man game have co-op. I think Spider-Man 2 set it up pretty nicely, where getting to swing around as Peter and then having a buddy getting to swing around as Miles at the same time would have been awesome. Having it set to where something like Far Cry has the option to play co-op or play the entire thing single player if you want, I think would have worked really well here or in a future game. This is also another thing that I could see being implemented as a mod when Spider-Man 2 goes to PC. But that's pretty much it. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for more Spider-Man 2 videos. Let me know what you guys think about the new update, what you want to see in future updates like new suits and all of that, as well as in the next Spider-Man game. See ya.